Am I where you want me to be?
I'll hold your bag.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't take any pictures without the bag. I hope.
No, the guy said, no, we can.
Oh, really?
Say it again. I'm good. How are you today? Look at me. I'm already like. It feels magical. It feels really beautiful. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so proud of everything. What this moment symbolizes, not only for myself as a filmmaker, but for everyone that poured themselves into this movie. It is a very triumphant moment. The cast and crew worked so hard on this project, and I think that this is a celebration of that. I think being recognized with the Grand Jury Prize, it was such a special moment for me as a filmmaker, and I think it was such a special moment for the film. At the end of the day, I made this movie about people that I really wanted to be seen and that I felt like needed to be uplifted. So I think it's one thing for me wanting to honor them, but I think for Sundance to recognize the movie that they did means that the industry recognized them as well, that the audiences recognize women like Inez as well, and young boys like Terry and men like Lucky, who are just fighting to get through life and fighting over generations just to get their piece of the American dream. So I think it was a beautiful moment. I think the jury has such beautiful things to say about how it touched them on such a core personal level, and that was really beautiful. And to me, that's what that moment meant. That's what that award will always symbolize for me. No, I think that in some ways, looking back, she would have been an obvious choice, but it didn't look like that up front. I felt like it would be cheesy, if anything, to cast somebody like Teyana. It's like, oh yeah, obviously Harlem, but I really wanted somebody who had the pedigree as an actress, but also could give me the truthfulness of like somebody who know this woman or was this woman in her life, So I think that when we finally did see a tape from Teyana, which hit me by surprise, she gave me that and so much more, and that was really exciting. I think the ways in which she connected with the character in such a raw and honest way, I felt all the things that I was looking for. I felt the complexities of Inez, because she is a very complicated, layered woman, and I think that Teyana understood that from the very beginning, even just from that first reading. And so that was really exciting to see, and I think that I was looking for somebody who would feel like one of one, being able to honor Black women in that way and celebrate what makes us one of one. And I think Teyana gave me so much of that and so much more, and so I'm just really excited for the world to see it. Inez and Terry's relationship is very complicated, and it's interesting because even though this is a story about a mother and son, these are two people that share much of the same story. I think they're both products of the foster care system. Obviously, their dynamic is very, very, it's a very wrecked state when we first find them, because they're both desperate to be loved. They're both desperate to be billed what they didn't have because of the circumstances of the life that they were born into. So I think you see them fighting to find themselves and reclaim their piece of home, their piece of stability, and that's so much of what this movie is about. Just seeing the power of what it means when a family can come back together, and what that means no matter what. I think obviously Lucky, when he comes into the family, Terry's not really his child, and I think that it just symbolize the fact that family, what that means goes beyond blood. It's just like how we show up for each other and what it means to be in a unit. And I think so much of this movie is about the power of those things and the power that these two people were able to find and overcoming that. And what happens, what's at stake when things like obstacles like what the city throws at them is trying to pull that apart. I think people talk about like the positive side of what has changed in Harlem, but I mean, who has it changed for, and does it really benefit the population that was already here? And I think Inez and Terry's story, it definitely gives people a window right into that. Yeah. What's this?
Pop a question. Yeah, everybody else, like, there's two people that was real scared.
Oh.
You get a free treatment.
Oh, thank you.
Where are you trying to pick up this?
What do you hope that the audience will take from this? That's so cute. What do I hope? It says, what do I hope that the audience will take away from this? Aside from ring pops, and the sweetness, you know, Inez really loves candy in the film. People will notice that, so just throw that out there. But honestly, I think there's so much for people to take away from this movie. So it's really hard to sum up in a short answer. But I think that's the beauty of the film. I think that there's so much to take away in the process. And I don't think this movie ends with a period, like at the end of a statement. It's the beginning of a conversation. It ends as the beginning of a conversation that people can have, reflecting on themselves, reflecting on the dynamics in their relationships, and also reflecting on, you know, how they come together as a community, how we relate to each other as a community. So I think there's a lot, you know, for people to take away, and I hope that they enjoy that processing, and that processing is enriching for them, enlightening and healing.